Greetings, my name is SC King, and I come to you today burdened with glorious purpose. I was blessed enough to have been offered a seat at the LA premiere, the cast and crew premiere of Black Panther. I took that opportunity and I got to see it yesterday, and the rumors are true. This movie is something else. And I'm going to give it to you a couple of ways. I want to just talk about it as a movie in its own right, and then I'll spill my gushings as a black nerd and what it means to me. But there is a reason it's currently tied with The Incredibles for the best reviewed superhero movie of all time. There's a reason they put my man's on the cover of Time magazine, the only MCU hero to be represented that way. It is a phenomenon. But to just talk about the film itself, I believe that it does in fact surpass all other MCU films in terms of the characters, music, the world building. One of my biggest issues with a lot of MCU films, even the ones that I enjoy a lot, is that there will be some characters who get a bulk of the story. They get a chance to shine, and some characters who kind of fall into the background. Even some of the best of the MCU movies do this, and that's nowhere in sight in Black Panther. Every single character, every single piece on the board is used to amazing effect. The music, Kendrick Lamar's soundtrack plays throughout the film. It's seamless whenever it pops up. But Ryan Coogler brought back his, the same from Fruitvale Station and Creed, his composer there, Ludwig Göransson. And that's another thing, is that the music in a lot of Marvel films, it kind of fades into the background. You think of your favorite musical scores of all time, then you try to think of a lot of your favorite Marvel scores, and they just don't stack up. The music here is beautiful. The world building, this is everything I wanted the first time I saw Thor from Asgard. Wakanda gets that. The world building is magnificent. You never want to leave Wakanda. The villain, and there's a couple of villains in this film, but Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger is everything that I've been wishing since the beginning that a villain would be, because oftentimes a Marvel MCU film will focus on the heroes, like Guardians of the Galaxy did. And so you have a character like Ronan the Accuser, who is serviceable. He looks kind of cool. He works as a bad guy, but you don't care. This movie is fully invested in its villain, to the point where when it's done well, you're able to have emotions and you feel a certain way because a good villain believes he's doing the right thing, and you get that here. Its depth of story is an endless well. It means something. This movie doesn't exist just to make a movie. It's got so much heart. Ryan Coogler has been on point since the beginning, since Fruitvale Station, since he popped up. With Creed, you saw that expand when they threw some more money at him and realized that he was able to take these big franchises and put some amazing heart into them, so whether not just a cynical production line. Once again, I want to bring back to those Thor comparisons. When watching Thor, which I enjoy for what it is, but aside from the world itself, the fact that we didn't really get to bathe in Asgard, Wakanda is nothing like that. You're in Wakanda through most of the movie. They leave for a small portion, but you get to know and love Wakanda. The side characters, mainly in Thor, the Warriors 3, the poor Warriors 3, who are enjoyable for what they are, but they're almost an afterthought, down to the point where in the third movie, they barely exist. Even the supporting cast in this movie has something to do. If they are on screen, there's a purpose. And even if they are like a third-tier character, everybody has arcs in this movie. That it's insane. Like everybody ends up somewhere different by the end of the movie. Life and death have a weight. They matter in this film. They might give you someone you enjoy, and that person might end up biting the bullet. Nothing is throwaway. every single piece of food is there to give a different piece of nourishment, and you eat it all up. um, just the it definitely is what Thor should have been. That sense of wonder that you should have had whenever you went to Asgard, and the effect Asgard should have had on you is exactly what Wakanda does here. The actors all on fire. I've seen a few reviews saying that Chadwick Boseman kind of slips into the background. I disagree. He is the heart of this film. And yes, there are other characters. That's the good thing about this film, is that you can pick your favorite character, because there's so many good characters just floating all over the place. And each of them keeps stealing a scene. They're all so great. I'm glad that people can say that I went to Black Panther movie, but my favorite character was this person, or my favorite character was that person. That's a good thing. They cared about those characters. Chadwick Boseman's on fire. Letitia Wright, I think, is my favorite character in the movie. As Shuri, a character who I never thought 10 years ago that I would see on film. Just this light and the youthfulness about her. Denai Guerrera, Lupita Nyong'o, Michael B. Jordan, just every single person, when they hit the screen, there's an importance about it. Nobody is wasted. And then now to the supporting cast of Forest Whitaker, Daniel Kaluuya, Angela Bassett, Martin Freeman, and Andy Serkis. And Andy Serkis is having the time of his life, not being a CGI character for once, just devouring scenery as the insane Claw. He's delightful here. And Martin Freeman is used to a wonderful effect as well. I definitely want to give a big shout out to Winston Duke, who plays M'Baku in this film. He's an actor that I've liked on the smaller screen for a while now, and I was worried that he might get one of those Marvel, he's in this movie, but he doesn't really matter kind of, push-offs. And no, he's put throughout the film in certain ways, but he, like everybody else, is treated with so much respect. He matters. He's in this movie for a reason. And all the actors are just so dynamic. Everything you've heard is true. It's got your 3 acts, and there's a lot of spectacle, but the spectacle is secondary because you care about what's going on. That's the biggest thing. If by the end of the movie, when you get to the battle between the big goodie and the big baddie, and they're going at it, the internalization of the characters and what's happening between them, that is what matters. That's why we cared about Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. It's the same thing here with Black Panther and Killmonger. You care and you are invested and your heart is beating. I teared up several times in this movie. Most of those had to do with Killmonger's character. It's heartbreaking and it's real and it means something. People say that it's the best MCU villain since Loki, and Loki is second place, and not even by a close margin. And that's not to diss Loki, because what they turned him into is fantastic. But Killmonger is a force to be reckoned with, a dynamic, just the heart of where his story is something beautiful and heartbreaking and terrifying, tragic, and you are invested. You would have to be the most cynical, unenjoyable person to not become invested in what's going on in this movie, and the conflict. And there is conflict with all of the characters. It's talking about things like family and tradition, the past and the future, the choices we make, and the effect they have on what happens, the consequences. And this story could be applied to any life, but especially in terms of Black people and African Americans in this country, where we've been, where we're going. But a big thing to take away is that it's not just for Black people. This whole movie is about Wakanda coming out, their place and where they've been, and where the traditions have had them, and what it means to step out into the world proud of who you are. This is a game changer. This is going to shake the foundations of Hollywood and how movies are made, and representation, and how minorities see themselves. the focus it has on women is another big thing in a lot of Marvel movies. Is some of them do have a few more female characters, but they've been significantly the female parts have been significantly underwritten over the course of the past 10 years. And in this movie, they are the heartbeat, they are the soul of this movie. And it's beautiful to see that you have so many choices. You can, the fact that you can pick which female character is your favorite, because there are so many and they're all different and beautiful in their own way. And especially to see so many black women being portrayed this way in a Hollywood film. For the love of Mike, stop comparing it to Blade. We never forgot about Blade. We know exactly what Blade is. We love Blade for what he is. But Blade is an R-rated vampire film starring Wesley Snipes and a bunch of white people. And this is about the blackest movie ever made. And to be made on this scale, to be able to see my reflection in this way from a Hollywood film, to have to deal with saving the hood or gangsters or all the things we deal with here, but to be seen as kings and queens and to be able to choose, to have choices in when it comes to fantasy and superheroes is something beautiful. And is it my favorite MCU film? Obviously. Is it my favorite superhero film? Definitely. And you might say that I'm biased because I'm black, but I've been invested in plenty of films that I was hoping would take me somewhere. This film met my expectations and obliterated them and bathed them in light because they cared. They got the people together to make it happen. There's so many black hands on this production. I could go on for a long time, but Black Panther, you should watch it. It's obviously well worth your money for the beauty, for the culture, for the future of cinema. This is one for the books. And I am so grateful and proud that I was able to go see it. I can't wait to watch it again in a couple of days, and then, the day after that. But yeah, y'all should definitely go see Black Panther. This is going to change your life.